NTI.org.bb. We live on everything already. We live on everything. Get message. We live on Facebook, YouTube. We live on 93.3 Gabs. We ready to be hot? Now we're talking about NTI.org.bb. Today we got a very special guest. And I just being transparent now, we can feel this guest today because you know what I mean, the national player and he's played the greatest sport in the world. You know what I mean? So you know everybody knows hockey is my absolute favorite sport. So
it's like you're a hockey player?
Yeah.
Well, everybody include me because they know learn that. I did not know.
If I am,
you are or you used to be?
Oh, used to be. I'm an old Scott. I'm a hockey player. But you know, the hockey is my favorite sport. You know, my absolute favorite. I love hockey. So big up all my brothers, big up Ray Dog and Menace. You know, Menace.
I know Menace is a big hockey.
I used to play hockey with Menace. Menace used to be my captain.
What?
Then we used to win enough on 21 titles, I think.
Whoa, okay.
We beat Combermere one time, met the Craig Bar, beat Maple one time. You know when the listening, you know when listening, wash off Maple. When the crying, we beat some balls. Combermere, Maple, Combermere again. We beat Combermere twice. We beat Combermere twice on 21, and my brethren, Ray Dog, went to Combermere. We had maybe we're young Menace, Ray Dog, myself. I had a touring team come. And it was the clown, so they picked me for team because it was the clown. You know, you need all that in locker room. You need somebody in locker room that make everybody laugh and feel good. If you don't go out nobody locker room, make you man feel good. Let me know when they winning. It's got to be, don't get wrong, you got to be focused, but you can't be so focused that you ain't enjoying it. Then because it's a sport, you know what I mean? The name of sport for a reason. So the touring team come, man, they set up Ray Dog, slip it through, and they steal the goal from Ray Dog. You know, so I always remember to always back and say score a goal for Barbados.
But it was really Ray Dog goal.
But people can't, it was. I steal it. You know, people can't say it. So you know, today the guest is special to me. I absolutely love hockey. Hockey changed my life too. You know, sports and music and culture is really changing life. So when hockey young and meet a man named Colin Elcock, you know, Colin.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
So me think Colin know the hard years. You know, the real hard. It means it's getting not trouble at school. So call me the devil. That was hard as it was. Put on farty, name me the devil.
Well, you about to be terrible, Sergey.
I do cruel, you know what I mean? I know everywhere too, but this man know never let me turn me away. Whatever you want to do, just let me do. Anytime you want to come, they could have stopped hockey league as a youngster, don't care what, he make sure he get home at all times. So when for myself after a couple of years, I lived in the block in years. You get me because hockey family small. So like hockey and popular, rest of one of football and cricketers and things. So you know it's only we. So if you're at the turf for Saturday, you're leaving.
Yeah, you
know because it's only we. You know what I mean? Like, you can see a man from the team that you don't know. You know everybody.
Like a tight-knit community.
Intimately, like every single body your friend at hockey doesn't be because it's small. So you're not gonna laugh. You know the youngster and men welcome me. All day was bad. The men still welcome me and like before you know it, my life really changed. You get me? So like, and it wasn't good. So like for
when you say you weren't good, you mean you were not a good player?
No, I was not a good hockey player, but I didn't know that it was a favorite. You know, you see with everything, see me how we get from heart, see me how we work with the government, people that's like me. You know what I mean? It's just saying a job that's me. You know what I mean? Because
you're good, fam?
Yeah.
I don't understand what you're saying.
No, I wasn't good. I wasn't good. You see, like, I know we're good at, and I ever put I was good at hockey. You know what I mean? It wasn't good. It was okay. But Scott. Working with the team All-Stars, because I play with All-Stars, they used to hide my flaws. So like it was slow that way, they call me slugger. So in hockey, they don't about, I can teach you game now. In hockey, they don't about offside. So a slow man like me, I could have lined for the goalkeeper.
Right.
Yeah. So if a man like my man here no real good and he hit that ball in hard, one put mistake from that and deflect, and keep things stuck in the goal. Just hit the ball hard at me. And you know they're always brave. You know your hard is you can be brave. So they're always brave. So you can hit that ball as hard as possible. Once you touch it, keeper can't see it, you get the deflection. Then I mean, there's telling the truth, because they had an offset, if I had an offset and they had a run, and then sluggy. Not speed or
you were not making it.
I'm gonna explain. So that's showing you what's possible for a man like me. You know what I mean? Like so if people don't know hockey, like people didn't know but they're not all sitting and so on. But me explaining that now, people can see now how a sport now you could me to make me look at it real good. You know what I mean? Very true for they fast, straight supposed to be real fast. Yeah. But being where they want to all say because they get mass. Can't put me in defense because they might get run past me. But the main thing for me, I mean enough medals,
I can imagine how that could boost your confidence too.
Study it, Scott.
Star player now.
I went Trinidad, bro, and First year we get like 14 level, like 4 times.
Whoa.
Like it being real, and then the next year it might be being. Like,
Sweet.
you seeing as a youngster from being trash. Man, it's legal frat man, what they say, man, it's right out there play team mayonnaise, you know mayonnaise, chef either come. Mayonnaise to play team too. Chef either come back and ball it out, so all the play team now. And but next year we win. But doing something that's a little man, I know you can't really get to it too, and you doing something like that, you can't imagine doing them things that you know good is few Scott.
Yeah, that's perspective change in there.
Read, just tell him.
Everybody's heard this man's voice. Yeah, all the time. Probably wondering who he is.
Yes.
His name is Akeem Rudder. He's a former student of the Great Sealy Secondary School.
Fine.
He's also a former semi-professional hockey player and current national hockey player
Yes.
who has just returned from the Central American Games held in the Dominican Republic. Being a successful student athlete, Akeem traveled to different parts of the world to play hockey while studying, including Argentina, the Netherlands, the UK. Akeem graduated with a bachelor's degree in sports science with first-class honors. He is now a certified disability sports and fitness professional and part-time lecturer at the University of the West Indies Cape Hill campus. Akeem founded his own sports company dedicated to children and adults living with disabilities. The academy is the first of its kind in Barbados and the Caribbean as well. Whoa.
Yeah.
He has worked with many persons with disabilities in Barbados, including those living with visual impairments, Down syndrome, cerebral palsy, autism, as well as wheelchair users. He is the only autism exercise specialist in Barbados and the Caribbean, and is working to actively train and educate others on how to work with persons living with various disabilities. Wow.
Yes. Yeah, like thanks for coming, my brother. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening,
Yeah.
everyone.
How things? How are you first before we start off?
Yeah, I mean, I'm good, and I feel a lot better to know that you used to play hockey
Greatest
too.
sport in the
So,
world. Greatest
So you
sport
didn't know?
in the world.
no, I didn't know. I heard, but I heard from Nakira.
Well,
She told me
what
some of
do you
these
think
good
here?
people.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Manners, yes, great people. See that there's two sports we do for you.
Yeah.
I'm not being so hard. There's some voices, these good people. You know, these things just change your life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And for me, I didn't realize it because obviously I was young. I was in it. Only like years after you doing these different things, being in music, so you have to be organized, you have to be this kind of choice. Even when they want to be hard years, they ain't gonna sound good.
Yeah.
You know, because they gotta play within everybody.
Yeah.
As hard as they want to be. If they're playing hockey and they don't want to be shamed, I can trust my captain and my coach. The captain, because on the field, the coach may always get to me, but the captain can convey the message that the coach want for the team
To carry out.
So now, although the real hard is want to make things, if we don't do that, if we get beat 3-0, you know, they can still get beat 3-0.
Yeah, understood.
Like,
Yeah.
you don't be so like, them, I know and I know as an adult, when a young didn't know, but them things help me to change, right? Why do you think sports is so successful at changing people like beyond just being a good athlete or whatever? Why does it have so many other effects?
Yeah, I think you opened with that really clearly. You clearly said that you were hard years and they had a good coach or someone that saw the potential in you and give you the opportunity to go through. And from that little bit of trust from that coach, you can see how your life started to develop. The confidence started to build from you just being there, and you weren't here, sluggy, this hard, this boy, you this, you're that. You're now in an environment that is helping you to thrive. Everyone is kind of boosting you up. And as you said, in the hockey
That was a
environment,
big boost.
So
The gas got young, you got a little gas.
yeah, sport really has that, and my life has been quite similar. Sport has given me a lot of opportunities to travel. I got scholarships to further my education, and coming up, I was a little chunky, right?
Really?
So yeah, I remember one summer I started hockey, and after that I dropped all of my weight, and with that, like, confidence.
In one summer?
Yeah, in one summer.
So like, you know Donovan. Donovan Smith in one summer he does.
But yeah, man, that was a major confidence booster for me, and I was able then to make more connections, meet more people, and that translated straight into like my school. I was able then to improve my grades because I felt a lot better in myself. And this is what I try to do, or not what I try to do, is what I'm doing in the community of people living with disabilities now. So just like how that coach gave you that opportunity, think about someone with a disability who no one is giving them the time of day. So my job now is to kind of help and empower that population to be able to have the opportunities like Sluggy had,
Right.
right? So they're now involved, they're now included, people are boosting them up, giving them that, encouraging words and stuff.
Mindset shift.
Yeah, mindset, perspective shift. And not only for the person, but the parent and the family. So now the family now sees that their child or their loved one, has more potential now.
You see a different side of
difference
them.
in that person now. So then that also translates into the community now. So community now, we are now more sensitized to people living with disabilities. So now look at it a lot different. So it's perspective change on a whole level,
Cool.
So these are the things that we look at working on here.
All you're doing is driving home the point of what is so important to have sports in especially children's life.
Yeah.
And especially children with disabilities. Because if that could work for me, I could only imagine what it could do for a person with disabilities. But I just never really studied it that deep until you come on the show. So that would be important to have conversation with a person like yourself.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? Because smart as they may think I am, never say like that. But using sports and a person with disabilities, I think that's a brilliant thing. Akeem, when they say on radio, it's try to say everything's there, but I know a person like yourself, you don't normally like the spotlight, you know what I mean? It's the bad boys and the gangsters or men that singing with chicken, you know what I mean? I think I know them is get spotlight, but I can say this all the time. And I'm just glad that the government and the system and the communities is working on me so that I can be able to say these things. But people like you, we gotta have much more conversations with. Because I'm sure that everybody knows somebody with a disability and would love a fun sport, the word sport. You know what I mean? Would love a fun sport anyway that could help. Why is it important? Why is it important for us to know these different avenues that person with disabilities versus just the conventional?
Yeah. And I mean, the same way how you would go outside and want to sweat running football or playing on the hard court. These are things that we overlook sometimes because it's so natural or normal to us. But sometimes when people live with disabilities, they're shut up at home majority of the times because one, they don't think they will be included. One, the structures around us are not built in a way that they can be included. So if I'm a parent of a child, you don't go anywhere because there's no way for you to be accepted. So now we are creating environments where now people can come out and be a part of our society a lot more. So as you said earlier when you were opening, is like sport is community, sport is family, sport is friendships. So sport is like the key vehicle to create more change. And I think we in Barbados, we see sport, but we don't value sport for what it is. I can tell you, I've met a lot of people in sport who, if not for sport, they will be in jail. They will be in the mental, these are things that we don't look at, but sport is not only a major economic driver, but social change as well.
It's like you said just now that we kind of take it for granted.
Yeah,
because it just did.
It just did, you could wake up, go somewhere and just play, but for someone, especially with autism, they will go, for example, in this room and there's so many sensitivities, they can't participate. But for me now, I'm able to reduce all of this and kind of work with them at a level that they can. And now sport may not look the same way for them as it does for everyone else, but they're still able to get the same values. They're still able to get the same feeling that we get from sport.
That's the word I was gonna call just now, that feeling. That's key right there.
So before you started doing this, was this something that you observed happen where you saw someone life change, or you only saw someone life change when you got into it?
So I always knew that I wanted to help people in sport. I always knew because I'm a good hockey player that I will end up coaching or training at some level. And my academy started from a school assignment. So I think my friends at UE. Big at UE all the time. I think my friends are the persons who are most happy for me because I remember when I was doing that assignment and I would send it to them to kind of vet, you got your friends, you tell them, look at local grammar and stuff like that. So for them to see that move from a class assignment to this now being my full-time career, I think for them it's kind of like, whoa, they can't believe it happened, But for me, when I first was doing the research in the because I never saw someone playing hockey that had a disability. So my project was hockey for people with disabilities. Right, and from that project, it just stemmed out. I went to England and I was there through COVID. I went to play on contract, and special needs schools were the only schools that were open during COVID. and I was able to go into special needs schools to kind of get practical experience from my project. And I mean, from being in that environment, I just knew, that you know something for you. That I knew, and the way how I was able to work with the limited knowledge that I had at that point in time, just share kind of observational skills and stuff. I had goosebumps in the feeling. So I knew for sure that this is something that I had to pursue, and it's like a second nature for me. The way how I'm able to work with especially autistic clients or autistic people, I find it's something that I can't necessarily explain. And then having the education and the qualifications behind it makes it even a lot better. So yeah, man, I think it's something that is definitely my purpose.
You knew that it was the first thing he was doing it.
No.
Like, when here Scott read that out.
First in Barbados and the Caribbean.
Yeah.
That would mean because if I was saying you might got an idea that, but I never see this in Barbados,
But let me specialize in this.
But then the Caribbean know to be first in the Caribbean, it's wondering how you would know that. Even train that you be that saying that was slick.
Yeah, so when I first started to deep dive into the research and stuff, when I first experienced it, I said I have to take this home to my people. Like Barbados has to have an opportunity to experience something like this. And then when I started doing my research, and then I found out that in the Caribbean there's no research for it. And then I started reaching out to different people in the Caribbean, and then I realized there's no development for this at all. So I kind of found out as I dive more into the research, and as time went on.
I was going to ask you how much work we have to get to the level that they're at in the UK, but you just answered that.
Yeah.
We know starting.
Yeah, we know starting, and that is one of my goals, to kind of develop the research in that area, so that when I am gone and when more people want to move into a field like this, they have more stuff. Because I found in the UK and the US and Australia, they're way developed. I mean, like, we're still in the historical context of a 1970 as it relates to disability, right? So we have a lot of growing to do. And
but in terms of sport,
in terms of disability, period, in terms of accessibility, in terms of education, in terms of understanding.
So like 50-some years behind, you said?
Yes, I was reading an excerpt from a research paper, and
it's 40.
So you know,
1970, 1950, so 10 years before me.
Yeah.
And they all
half century
so
almost,
like 13 years before Scott, sure.
Yeah, we have a long way to go.
But with so many, we got great people that pass through not pass through, some still living. But we got many great people with disabilities and great examples of people that overachieve.
Yeah.
Some even in parliament. Even ability, Scott. That shouldn't be taboo anymore.
Yeah.
And I guess you can understand when you say it's cultural, they can't understand because we practice things and keep doing things and keep being a certain way, it seeps into our culture, it becomes culture just is a part of who we are.
Yeah.
I mean, which is sad, but what do you think we have to do? It could be certain policies you think we need to implement. It could be certain programs or awareness that we can start doing in primary, secondary schools.
Yeah.
Whatever it may be, what do you think we need to do to heighten the awareness one and make sure that in a couple of years we make the leaps and bounds that we need to meet, so that our families, and our loved ones can have an equal playing field?
Yeah, I think Barbados has started that movement. I think the National Disability Policy is still in draft, kind of ready to come out. I think it will be out pretty soon. You can check it on the National Disabilities Unit. It should be out pretty soon. And that is a great step towards more inclusion, right? So Barbados is already starting to move, which is really good. But more awareness. I believe heavily in education, and I believe educating and sensitizing persons from early, so like you said, from childhood, right? So when a child has the understanding that sometimes there are people living with differences, but that does not make them any less than you, right? Once we could start building a group of youth with that understanding, then we know as we grow older, we will have a better and stronger society. And I strongly believe a society is as strong as the weakest people in a society, or the persons that aren't as strong in terms of skills, education, mindset. So the better society is the one that pull those persons up to get them to a level that they can function, right? So once we start thinking about society like that, how can I as a person, and this reflects on the social model of disability, right? Now the social model focuses on how can I as a person make a person with a disability's life better. What can Sluggy Dan do? What can Scholar Rock do? How can I make it better for them? You know, because we are the ones that are living without a disability. So now we have to think, whatever we do, how can we make it a little better? So if we build, have a program happening, you cannot wait until a person with disability turns up and say, oh shoot, I ain't account for that. You know, so that has to be on your mind, that if someone happens to turn up here, can they have access? Can they be involved? You know, so these are things that once we start thinking about, we'll start to get closer to inclusion.
A more, yes, inclusive thinking, I was about
Yeah,
to say, looking at your shirt, inclusive sport for all.
Yeah,
Include Youth Sports Academy.
Youth Sports Academy.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, no, that is absolutely brilliant. I like the points you made, how we can heighten awareness, and there's no way to go around it but education also, and education is everything.
Yeah.
Don't care how we break it down. If you
Can't get away
if you
from
on
it.
the block, if you're in church, you know what I mean? If you're at school, you know what I mean? All education. Because if you don't learn, you can suffer severely. If you're on the street and you don't learn, you can suffer severely. And if you're at school and you don't learn, you can suffer severely still. So when you speak about education, it just what we don't that so many youngsters don't say listen, you can understand what you really mean, you know what I mean? Because we can't progress if we don't make sure that we educate.
Yeah.
Because that's education is how we can help to bring awareness.
Definitely.
And then when we bring awareness is who will help the policymakers to know how much we're aware. So once we are aware of what we need to do, they have no choice but to implement certain policies because it will then becomes our culture. That we treating disability people as one, we treating them as our equal, and then it becomes our culture. And then we got no choice but to implement policies to support.
That is it, so
Yeah,
that's it.
yeah, like real talk. That's what I gather from listening to you, and it was quite insightful. Now, having all this Lord, bro,
Yeah.
right? How do you still live your life? How do you still get through your life personally?
Yeah.
Dealing with people with disabilities, right? First and foremost, dealing with at-risk youth, at-risk people, we cruel, cause live it, but then add a disability to it. You know what I mean? They can fuck me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As much as they do, as much as they sluggy, they can pretend they understand, bro.
Yeah.
If that came, my grandma had Parkinson's disease, right? Trembling. That's still close to what's about you doing.
Yeah.
Like you saying, like you look young to me, saying you doing it full time, like you tell Scotland,
Yeah.
full time.
So yeah, it's
Batman, I mean,
quite heavy.
tough
I
job.
will admit it is heavy, and having a good circle is one of the things that I really push me through.
Go
You know, so if not for my circle, I don't think I will be able to do it, because sometimes I'm not only working with a person, but I'm working with their family. So when I'm working with a mother who
Yeah.
thinks that she's at the end of her road, you know,
Her wits
nothing,
end.
yeah, wits end, nothing she's doing is working, and I have to now try to still empower her to understand that we can work through this. You know, we can do this. Things are happening. It's just taking a little longer, but we gotta be patient. And my parents, I think you guys hear my voice, but I think the voice we need to hear more are the parents.
Yeah.
You know, they live it. I see it for a couple hours a day, but they live it. And I think as a show or NTI, we need to, or as a whole society, we need to give the parents more ear, you know, because they really go through some really hard times, you know. And for me also, I think I don't know how I get through it. It's like, I don't know. My circle, I mean, I'm a national player. I play hockey at the highest level here. I'm training almost 4 times a week.
And that remain head
Yeah.
is because national duties is a full-time thing. You know what I mean? You might not do it full-time in BIM, but you can be good as a national athlete and you really want to do it. You train for the Monday.
Yeah, go train.
Because you make somebody pass.
Yeah, you can pass out. And I'm the captain of the national team too.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's another set of pressure that, you know, but
Yeah, man, you slow down, man.
I didn't read that.
We got some time.
We got 5 minutes.
You got 5 minutes? Oh, we got all the time you go. Listen, bro, you are a Barbados senior captain.
yes.
Doing this there?
Yes.
So
And lecturing part-time.
UE, yes.
Yeah.
lecturing alone is crazy. You know what I mean? But shout outs to UV. They may believe in education, so shout outs to UV. That way like the NTI say,
Yeah.
but they get to UV. So you know, like a man was sacrificed there because that's really getting to put back standings up for brain.
For sure, for sure.
But then like national duty don't really play on there really.
No.
They all love, you know what I mean? Like they say play hockey when they're youngster.
Mhm.
So you know there ain't no money here.
Mhm.
You could be the best hockey player in Barbados, but far you don't get a quart.
Not even a quart.
Don't try and pay you by spending your thing or pay you gas money and thing. But men love it. You know hockey like badminton and they can't sports
Yeah.
like you know if you in it you really love it. So you don't care.
Mm.
You know you don't care, but how your captain duties
Yeah.
and still dealing with people with disabilities, sportsmen with disabilities, how do you separate all these things? Because being a captain gotta be a personality on your own. You can't be the same way as captain as you cause when you teach someone you gotta be loving and caring.
Yes.
When you work with someone with disability, you gotta be loving and caring.
Mhm.
But he's a captain or a leader. You know what I mean? Like those son trader man, one kind of pro leader. You got to so the captain if you defend doing things you know you shouldn't do.
Yeah.
You can't tell okay, good job next thing, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think
How you get that switch? But that switch come from mommy teach you that, daddy teach you that you want to how you just like natural.
I think that switch come from dad.
Dad,
I think
big up
dad,
daddy.
for sure. Big up my dad for sure. I think my dad was able to get his message across in a way that was very strict, but also not like authoritarian kind of you must do this kind of thing.
And then you go back about
And then go back.
I
So
like
for
that.
me, I'm able to my teammates always tell me I'm able to when it's game time, I'm a different kind of person. When I'm off, I'm different. So yeah, I think that switch comes because I am so passionate about the game and people know how I feel about the game. So when I say or when I do certain things, they know, okay, it's time to go pull up. But yeah, I think the switch comes.
And then you soft side now, so when dealing with people
Yes,
with
soft side.
disabilities.
Me not if you ask anyone about me, they will tell you that I'm very easygoing, I'm very calm.
Nice.
And yeah, I think that helps. Yeah, that helps for sure, yeah.
Boy, your careers, it's called
Yeah, you gotta put
all
the
these
S
things.
on there.
We're gonna get some information about read that thing with NTI, they put download that.
You mean talking points?
Yeah, Scott, what he doing right, dealing with the people with disabilities is a career on their own.
Yeah.
And then for me, there's me, and anybody don't agree with this here, like you know what I mean, don't talk to me, but national athletes should be national athletes, period. You shouldn't be a national athlete and go work on it. If you play any sport for Barbados, like you should get like a $10,000 a month or whatever, and a government host or whatever. If you don't want to host, you'll pay them, make sure you eat because like otherwise they ain't gonna beat the boy work.
Yeah, let you focus on your sport.
We ain't gonna beat the boy work, you know what I mean? And if anybody think that we are the dreaming, you will get a one athlete. You don't get no national team in Barbados winning the Olympic, no World Cup, nothing ever. I'm being part-time, doing work, right? So for me, that athlete should be, and he's the captain. Which should be out of responsibility. That like if you CEO or that if you're hot manager, you don't just see the jet plane. It's saying happen, who can call you? On the feet, it's saying, bro, captain, what's going on here? What these men getting on? So you're controlling these men? You know what I mean? So, bro, like, you're doing it all. And we gotta salute you.
Appreciate it.
We gotta salute you, and I hope I could hear from you much more.
Yeah.
And I hope that person that yourself learn to show in the face and keep spreading your voice, keep spreading your message, and pushing what you're doing because we need the people of Barbados and the Caribbean too. But the Caribbean want to need some help too. But we need people of Barbados, especially now in Ben, to hear that deal what youngsters doing too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And youngsters they just robbing or just shooting or just, you know what I mean, want to be evil. They got youngsters that we can big up that doing positive things that we're doing. And just want to tell you, for me, and everybody start doing NTI, doing a wonderful job. I want to keep up the great work.
Thanks a lot, man. Really appreciate that for sure.
Thank you so much, Akeem, for passing through. Include your Sports Academy. Can they check y'all out on social media and stuff?
Yes.
So give the piece the talking points.
No, give me your handles first.
Yeah, IUSA Barbados on Instagram and include U Sports Academy on Facebook.
IUSA Barbados.
Yeah.
Oh, USA?
IUSA.
That's clever. You see like Green City?
Yes.
Leave a Green City, boy. Green City gonna be so proud of you, boy.
True.
You went back there and speak yet?
Yeah, I've been back there to speak as a speaker and stuff.
Big up Green City. It's quite any point in turning you need to make headphones.
Make sure you log on to nti.org.bb. This week's featured course, Inspiring and Motivating Individuals. Motivation represents a crucial challenge for contemporary organizations. A recent poll revealed that only 13% of workers worldwide exhibit high levels of engagement and motivation. We will show you why these motivation problems are not simply due to a bad or unmotivated team member. Rather, motivation is very much driven by what work conditions we create for our teammates, how we structure goals and objectives, and how we reward people for the accomplishment of those goals. This course will help you diagnose and solve motivational problems so that you can bring out the best in your people. It's a mixed level course from the University of Michigan, approximately 14 hours to complete, and the top reviewer said this course presented excellent educational material, activities, and examples from real life that helps you to go through all the content, keeping your interest from the beginning to the end. So check that out. Where, Sluggy?
NTI.org.bb was the name of the course.
It is called Inspiring and Motivating Individuals.
I love that. How much hours?
14.
14 people, that's 14 hours. I love it. NTI.org.bb. Over 5,000 free courses. Over 5,000 free courses. Listen, again, we are getting free education. I absolutely love it. And education is everything. I don't care where you see, I don't care where you're from, I don't care what level you are at. Education, Scott, is everything. And I push your education right too. Yeah. NTI, you know we love you. Hot 95.3 every single Wednesday, 3:35 p.m. We live on Hot 95.3 on IG, live on NTI on every single platform, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter too.
It's not Twitter yet.
Not Twitter too. we live on everything. We live on everything else. Absolutely love it. Scott.
Music up, Sluggy.
There's a rocket soca?
Yeah, there's a rocket soca.
So everybody bring a stand height.
You want some height?
No, I left it. Leave it. Leave it. I ain't cheating. I ain't cheating. Turn it up my earphones. Darling, give me stand sweet. So you go sing a sweet soca out for NTI.
Yes, already.
Give me the music. Give me the music. That we're talking about. NTI.org.bb. We doing a freestyle ad every single Wednesday. And that's what Barbados know before you start Scott the Rock Wicked. you know back to soca be you can talk over it. But you know you gotta speak so you gotta sing.
Melody, man.
Melody.
Yeah.
And it's Scott, let me go. Ha! NTI.org.bb. Every course is free, every course is free. NTI.org.bb. Every course is free. No need for paper and pen. No need to write a damn thing. It's free online to sign in. Just use the email and sign into the thing. Oh yes. NTI.org.bb. NTI.org.bb. Everything is free. Everything is free. Hear what Sluggy sing and tell you free. NTI.org.bb. Everything is free. NTI. Bang!
That's the best way to do it.
I see so too.
Those people pro. Don't start out there. Don't start out here. We choose at the end. I feel so, but we can choose at the end.
It's true. Look at yourself, Sluggy.
Great job, Scott. As usual, like I say at the end of every show, great job, and I appreciate you, brother. Nothing but love and respect.
Yeah. NTI.org.bb. Sign in, Akeem. Thank you so much for passing through.
Yeah, man.
Great word. Citizens of good character, confident and creative.
I saw it now, right? So we started moving.
Hey, can't believe we gonna make stars, Donna. You know what I mean?
Listen.